Hello YouTube, and welcome to my unboxing / review of the Hero's Guide to the Elder Scrolls Online. This is a really rare and obscure set of lore books that was released for collectors back in 2014 together with the first release of the Elder Scrolls Online. Now, before we begin, I'm not sponsored by Bethesda or ZeniMax to review this thing. I mean, it's been quite some years. This thing came out in 2014. I got this as a Christmas present second-hand by two American friends, one of whom visited my country a while back. And I'm extremely grateful to them for it and for giving me the opportunity to review this set, because it's really interesting and not many people know of its existence. So this set of books was released April 4th, 2014 by Bethesda and Dark Horse Comics to coincide with the Elder Scrolls Online launch. It was exclusively available on Bethesda's own website store for a limited amount of time, which is why by now this item has more or less faded into obscurity and not many people know of its existence. Only 10,000 units were made and each unit is individually numbered, meaning that it's pretty rare. Now, my copy, as I mentioned before, is second hand, so not everything may look as it does in the old official pictures. But in my opinion, it really looks very nice and it's really a cool oddity and it looks good for what it is though. But if you see any flaws in it, that's why, because it's second hand. As you can see, the set comes in a really large leather-bound case, which is made to look like a book. When you open it, you see the books of the set in the lower half and a print of the ESO map of Tamriel in the top half. My first impressions of this set is that it's already really good. Everything feels really high quality and looks sharp. The books are quite hard to take out because of their case, it fits exactly, but they gave us these little brown ribbons to help lift up the books. The set consisted of 3 books and a little ribbon-bound hardcover binder, which has a sort of certificate of authenticity in it, and a nice little piece of iconic ESO artwork. The note on the top of this binder tells you some information about the set, that it consisted of 3 books from across Tamriel during the Second Era, and each book is supposed to present a different facet of the Elder Scrolls world to familiarize yourself with the setting of the game. On the bottom of the note it tells you the number of your set. As you see, I have number 8775 of this set. I have to say that adding this makes it feel so much more premium and complete, and I don't know, I really like it, even though this little binder is pretty insignificant. Now, let's get into the books included with this set. As I said before, there are 3 books included. As I reiterated before, there are 3 books included. One of the books, the biggest one of the set, is this book. It's a journal of a group of Nordic hunters. The book itself is called Kind's Challenge. It's a leather-bound book and has gold-tipped pages. The journal tells the story of some hunters from the Fighters Guild who trek around Tamriel to hunt many different creatures. I think this journal actually includes the description and lore of every monster you can find in Tamriel at the time of Elder Scrolls Online's release, and it's all told in a sort of journal form, so you could actually read this as one big story, as it has a somewhat of a central plot where they take on Molech Bal's forces. I wouldn't recommend it as a novel directly, but if you want you can read it as such. The book is split in sections covering every province featured in the game and dealing with the lore of each of the creatures that you'll find in those provinces, and of course the central plot in the book. All in all, this book has an extremely nice feel to it, and the decoration is very well done, and the pages are thick and the images on them are printed in really good quality. In addition to that, there's a really nice little bookmark ribbon which you can use to keep track of the plot. The second book we have here also has a really nice and unique look. It looks like a journal that you may find in Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls Online, with its specific hardcloth design and the Eye of Enchantment on the front. It's bound in a rope to make sure that it doesn't open by itself, and when you open it, it reveals a guide dealing with the lore on all the alchemical ingredients found in the Elder Scrolls Online. The paper of this book really feels nice and somehow different than the previous book, and the papers have a really nice ridge to them. I think the paper is actually chosen to make it feel like an actual journal in which people can write things. And I have to say, this journal actually feels like a journal of sorts in which the alchemical apprentice just wrote down his findings. In this book you get the lore on many ingredients, but you also get actual alchemical properties per ingredient, meaning that this book actually serves some actual purpose if you want to use it alongside playing the game. I mean, the internet is faster to just, Google the alchemical properties, but I have to say, having this book is really more immersive and fun. This book, which is called Agents and Reagents, The Bounty of Mundus, is really useful and also really nice, and it's made in a really high quality. I'm honestly not sure which one I like more if I had to choose between the Hunter's Book, Kain's Challenge or this. Both are extremely high quality and really solid lore sources. And last but not least, there's a third book. This is a book made by a Fighters Guild member. The book deals with many armor and weapon designs in the game and provides lore per province and per style. It really gives some lore behind the armor and weapon designs of the champions of each of the races and the lore of the world overall next to it. And it even gives some lore on armors and weapons of the non-playable factions like the Reachmen, the Ashlanders and the Goblins. This book, like the ones before it, looks really nice, and it also has this really nice design with rigid pages and a shiny ass cover. It also has a nice silk bookmark, and as I said before, this, like the other books in the set, is just designed really well, and the design is also executed really well. I cannot do much more than to praise Bethesda, ZeniMax and Dark Horse Comics for this great set of books. I mean, unlike my previous review of some Elder Scrolls merch with the, Septim coin replica, here I'm really solely positive. These books are really high quality and I've not seen any of them before. They're a great source for lore and, for example, for role players who just want more information about the world and want to have it in an actual physical book. And on top of that, it's not just a physical book. These books are made really high quality and they're made in the style that you would find them in the universe itself. And I can really recommend anyone who finds it either in a second-hand store or on eBay to just, get it, as it's an amazing and useful addition to any Elder Scrolls collection that you might have. Now, luckily, if you cannot get your hands on this set, its contents have been very well documented by both the Elder Scrolls Wiki and the Imperial Library, so if you want to give the contents of these a read, and you don't really feel like hunting eBay or spending money, I recommend reading the contents there, as the good people there have documented it. That said, this was my second unboxing on the channel. I hope that you loved it, and I hope to see all of you in my next lore video coming Thursday. Bye bye.